Hey everyone, we got Omar back with us. And as we teased in our first episode, we are going to be talking about BRRRR projects: buy, repair, rent, refi, repeat. So Omar, what you got for us here? You're doing a couple of these right now.
Yeah, I've done a few of them already before it was truly popular. And it's funny how, doing this business for a while and no one really put an acronym next to it. It was just like, hey, we're going to buy the house. We're going to repair it, make it look all nice. We're going to put a renter in there. We're going to refinance it, pull out all of our cash, and then have a positive cash flow of 5, 6, 700 bucks, 800 bucks. And then you do it again. But there's a lot of things that people need to understand though. A BRRRR isn't just done like tomorrow. You have to have well-established credit. You have to be able to own the asset for quite some time if you want traditional financing. And that's what nobody covers. Everybody says, yeah, just BRRRR it. Okay, great. But how are you going to BRRRR it if you don't have an established, taxes? You can't qualify for a conventional loan. There's a lot of factors there. So in this sense, one of my first ones I bought it for like 90,000. I fixed it all up, put about 30K into it. I rented it for 1 year. Then I refinanced it. Okay. Because I needed to have established, there's a line there. And this is before the regular hard money was available just to do it right away. I had to wait for a year. Then I refinanced it, pulled all my money out, right? And I think I pulled out $30,000 or $40,000. So now I'm in this property zero.
Yep.
And then it was making us a $450 or $500 a month positive cash flow, which is really cool. I ended up selling that asset to move that huge money because it appreciated substantially into another property that's going to probably double or triple that cash flow.
Yeah. I was doing BRRRR and actually writing about it on Bigger Pockets right when Brandon Turner came to the channel. And it's fun to see him I didn't create the acronym. I'm not going to say I did. I didn't. I just was writing about the deals we were doing because we would buy it cash, just like BRRRR. We would fix it up. Then we wouldn't go to a bank. We would go get private money. So it's the same process. Just the refi was with private money. And then, we would just repeat.
Right.
That's how we bought like 20 some odd homes or whatever it was in 2010 was we were executing BRRRR before it was a thing. But we weren't using banks. We were using private money. Where I want people to realize
smart, a little higher interest rate, right?
Yeah, 10%, but the loan balance was nothing. But yeah, again, for us, it was like, we want to buy as much as possible and we want all our money out so we can keep going. Right. And it was beautiful. Just cookie cutter, rinse and repeat. It was awesome. And we were happy to pay 10% just to close that out.
Of course.
Yeah. So what I want to talk about BRRRR that's not really mentioned in the books, and you really hit it, and I'll hit it again here. The hardest R, the riskiest R is the refi. Refinancing, specifically with bank financing, comes with timelines, rates, and appraisals. The biggest issue I see with BRRRR is you, the buyer, you get an ARV. You think you have an ARV of 200. You buy it at 100. You put 50 in, you think you're good. Lo and behold, a refi appraisal is not a purchase appraisal. A purchase money appraisal has a contract, meaning an individual buyer and an individual seller. So there is proof of value, especially if you have multiple offers at said price. An appraisal has no such thing. And a refi appraisal is going to be as conservative as possible.
Yep.
And if you have a stretched ARV goal of 200, I promise you, the refi appraisal has a very good chance of coming in around 180. But if you need 200 to pay everybody else back and have zero in the deal, watch out. I've seen many, many, many BRRRR projects blow up because you can't pay off your hard or your private money. And that's because these BRRRR conversations don't talk about the appraisal risk that is real. Yeah. And then the other one.
I'll add to that.
Go ahead.
No,
I was going to say the other thing you have to realize is there's a timeline, right? So I brought on a hard money lender to my channel 2 weeks ago. So this is their timeline. If you buy a deal, for 100, that's worth 200. Day 0 to day 90, they will only give you 80% of the 100, regardless of what it's worth, right? In this case, 200. If you do it from day 91 to day 365, they will do purchase plus repair. So if, again, 150 and 200, they'll only give you 80% of the 150. If, like you did, you wait a year and a day, they will do the refi on the 200 and give you 80% of the 200. So realize timelines are important. And these people selling books and courses, they don't want it to sound hard or risky or time intensive, but realize in practice, there are time constraints and risk profiles that make the appraisal that one are particularly dangerous.
That's huge, spot on. And that is the hardest R out of that whole acronym for sure. That refinance.
Yeah.
And
again, if you have if you have the excess capital, it's great. Just execute BRRRR and BRRRR. If you have to leave 8 or 9 or 12 grand in, so be it. But don't come to this thinking you're going to get I don't ever assume a BRRRR project, I'm going to get all the money back. I'm always ready to leave some in.
Yeah. And you know what? It's not bad to leave money in there, because now you have equity in case, and that's your cushion in case there's something happens to the market. You're not negative. You're still breaking even, and let's not hope that it's going to get like that, because we do have a long way of an appreciation right now based on the affordability index. So we are literally in a good position to do BRRRRs, providing you have all your stuff in order.
Oh yeah. I want to be very clear. I think, as we said in episode 1, I think flips are going to be very profitable for the next year to 18 months, easy if you do them right. I think BRRRR projects done right will be wildly successful the next 12 to 18 months because of the appreciation cycle I see ahead of us. But don't over leverage. Don't use a 200 ARV with it stretched when a 180 is more likely. Protect yourself. Be a little conservative. Be surprised to the upside, not the downside.
100%. Ken, I'm going to give you guys an example, if you don't mind.
Please.
Okay. I don't know. You're kind of breaking up there. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, good. So I have a place that I purchased a while ago, about 3 years ago, and I bought it for 170, and I've had renters in there. So they've been making the payments, and there's been a positive of maybe $350, not that much, but it was some money out of my pocket, the fix up. The initial investment was a subject to, so I refinanced them out and just did straight rate and term, didn't pull out any money because at that point I couldn't, because it was within that 12 months. Long story short, I ended up paying off that property because it was on 2 acres, and I subdivided the other acre, which is another $110,000 worth of property.
Wow.
And then I kept the home. So we put a line down the middle, and that property now is paid off, and we're remodeling it. It's in some of my videos. And what I'm doing now, since there's no debt on it, and it's now, since the market's appreciating, it's worth about $400K. Wow. Purchase appraisal, I know I can get somebody to buy it for 400, but I know that the refi appraisal might probably hit about 370, 365, 380, maybe, who knows? But he made a good point. Michael did make a good point about a purchase appraisal versus a refi appraisal, because a purchase, they have that contract that they could base it off of based on the demand of a house and how much someone's willing to pay. So long story short, the deal, I'm only going to refinance about 250,000. I'm going to pull out 250K. I'm going to leave a lot of money there. So now my LTV, which is loan to value, is going to be about 70% and then maybe 75%. I'm leaving a chunk of money there as equity, because remember, that will end up being what your net worth is. You want to have a lot of chunk left of a property value, because that is what your net worth is based on, and it keeps increasing, providing you buy properties that way. And I'm only pulling out 250. I bought it for 170. I put about 30 grand in there, right? So I'm at about 205. So if I pull out 250, I paid myself about $40,000. Okay. I'm not pulling everything out. but 40K is cool. I pulled the rest of my money out. Now I have 250K. And mind you, rents are super high now. My payment on that alone is going to be about, I don't know, $1,400, $1,350, all in all good. I rent that property out for $2,000, $2,100 right now, which is crazy, by the way. And I'll have a positive cash flow of $600-700, but I have no money in it, and it paid me. And that's like the perfect BRRRR.
Yeah. And again, the beauty of this conversation is, yes, you can do BRRRRs in 90 days, 6 months, a year, but there's nothing wrong with doing a long-term BRRRR project, right? Once you are a real estate entrepreneur, which you are on my expert series, Omar, you can time these things, right? You gotta set assets free and clear. You got some over here, you got some over here. If you ever need to pull off 6 figures, you can. Folks, this is where you can get to. You can become a real estate entrepreneur, deal with leads and opportunities, but also your assets, your net worth, your income statement, to really unlock potential as we go forward. So Omar, congratulations on that deal. It's just amazing to watch you work.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm listening to you every day or every Tuesday.
Thanks.